as I showed earlier, this little spiky thing, it's really dark in this picture, so let's jump into the creation kit because I've still got this open. So if you come down here, actually I think that screenshot was taken from this particular ruin. Was it? Oh, let's just try to get the right angle. No, it wasn't. Oh well. See, as you can see, there's all these pillars around the place with this symbol on it. So I might make that. Cool. Right, I'm just gonna quickly have a drink. Cool. So what will this look like? It's basically a no. We won't start with the pillar. We'll start with the kind of spherical object. Wait, no, we want to see. So down the middle, we've got this extruded part. Actually, no, I'm going to do this in this view. It's perhaps a little bit wider. Yeah. Now this sphere is actually, the poly count's too high for what we're doing. We'll knock it down to 18. Actually 16 will probably do us. No, it's got this kind of blade thing. So alright. I think we'll just create a normal polygon. Make that a bit shorter. Go into a side view and we'll just duplicate, rotate. Duplicate, rotate, duplicate. At the end here we could merge all of these to center. So it's coming to a point. Merge all the points along the way to the center, give it that sharp look. Now the polygon count of this is stupidly low. I even think the Morrowind version is a higher poly count than this. But this is a good start, so we'll get the basic shape down before we go crazy on the details. It's got something attaching it to the sphere. So we'll just create a semi-cylinder like object. Delete the caps. Right, how's that actually sticking out? So it's actually molded in, so I'm gonna have to forget about that part that we just made and bring this through. I'll come through and I'll just do a quick bevel on these edges here, which isn't noticeable because they come to a point, so select the edges again, but we won't select the end. Now that might be quite cool to have this extra point. No, it won't. No, it won't. Okay, no, we don't want it to merge like that. So this is the only problem with this new merge tool, is it's really finicky. You've got to have no other polygons in sight, otherwise it will mess your stuff up, which isn't fun. Right. Now there's also a kind of plating that goes on down the edge, so we'll bring that through. So this whole part up to here is going to be, well, these polygons down here are all going to be extruded. Actually, to save myself a lot of time and effort, I will just knock in a center line and just delete everything on one side. Didn't seem to work too well, did it? Is it rotate? Oh, it is rotated. Look at that. Alright. There we go. Right now we can get a clear shot at the faces we don't want. Okay, let's just scale these inwards. Excellent. Oh. Okay, we're going to actually have to reduplicate this, because that did not work out how we wanted it to. There we go. Cool. So let's throw in a few extra edge loops and give this blade kind of a more smooth look. Make it more curvy. It's still not quite there. But I guess we can use this as the base for the larger one as well, because this is the smaller of the two blades that come off the edge of this piece. Okay. If we set the moving axis to a component, we can shift these out without worrying about where we move them, except for that endpoint. Oh well. Right. So let's just select the blade. And the part. And we'll hold shift and select everything else. No, it'd be easier if we just extrude the blade inwards. No, it won't. So we just got to delete these inside pieces. Everything except the bits down here. Is everything? Not quite. Oh, got a piece I didn't mean to. Alright, I see. Huh. When I delete some of the stuff, bits of the model get deleted. That's weird. Oh well, I can live with that. We'll just bridge these faces. Why are these pieces? Oh right, it's not duplicated perfectly, I think. Yeah, but this blade is spot on, so I wonder why these parts aren't. Okay, so they are. It's the whole thing. Oh, I think the whole thing's rotated slightly again. No? Hmm. Oh well. Again, can live with it. Oh wait, what? Okay. Let's just align this again. Wonder why this isn't snapping to the center where it should. So if I snap there, then set this center pivot to be right on this polygon here and move that to the center. Oh right, I only moved one of them and I have to reduplicate. There we go. Problem solved. Put sounds up in air. Right. So And let's UV map this. I don't have a texture for it. For the metal, I mean. For the inside parts. However, actually, what does it use? Oh, it does use a metal texture. Okay. Right, in that case... let's save. And assign a new texture to it. This one will be Fong 10, I believe. Yep, cool. Now I should have the metal texture with me, which is quite handy. I don't know if I... metal iron rusty.dds. That's the dwarven one though. Did they use the dwarven texture? They might have. Let's just see what other ones I've got. Because these metal ones, they're the big patterned... yeah, patterned metal pieces. Whereas these ones are just the simple metal like we saw on the actual model that we're replicating here. Okay, we'll just use this. For some reason it's transparent. Why is it transparent? Okay, that's incredibly rusty. Like, damn, that is really rusty. But it is 4,000 years old. Also, before I get any further, let's just smooth the UVs. So let's just invert what we've got. Create a planar map along Z. Okay, how does it look unfolded? Actually, that's smooth. Cool. Now these things won't be seen too close up, so texturing can be quite rough on them. However, that doesn't mean the texturing has to be rough. So we'll see what other textures there are. So it seems quite strange that, yeah, that the textures are... yeah, that one's really dirty. Okay. I'm just going to save the scene, create a new one, and import. Forget my downloads. Where is it? Actually, no, I'll just drag it in. Be easier to find it that way. So it is Daedric exterior models. Cool. So this is an FEX of all the Daedra models. For some reason they're scaled to be an enormous, absolutely enormous. So I'll just select my camera once it stops processing. I select everything and just group it first. Scale it way down. Because if you turn on the grid, you Can't even see it. So my far clipping plane was getting clipped even at that distance. Alright, here we go. So what you can see here is we've got, this is actually all textured as well, which is really cool. When it loads. So the staircase has already been done, or already been modelled. I believe a lot of these wall pieces have been modelled as well. So it just leaves these. But yeah, okay. So they did use the dwarven metal. That seems quite weird, but that makes sense because it is quite rusted. Yeah. Okay. But you can see here with all these eggs, they're a lot more spherical than the ones I've done. So I'm gonna make a few combinations of different style spherical buildings. They also use a bunch of different brick textures. So yeah, I'm gonna probably go through at some point. Probably not on a stream because that kind of stuff is quite slow and boring, really. And yeah, it'd be far more interesting to see modeling processes and stuff. Unless you guys want to see me doing destruction and modifying existing meshes. Yeah, I don't know. So what's is the stream quality alright? Because I know my internet should be fine for it. But I haven't done streaming in a long time. And I remember last time I did it, people were complaining of stuttering. But okay. So you do want to see creation and destruction of random egg buildings. Also, it would be cool once I get this dangerous stuff finished. I'll move on to. I don't actually know what I'll move on to, but it would be interesting to see what they're going to shove me into because this stuff is cool, but I wonder what other buildings they need or environmental assets. I'll probably actually be stuck onto doing interiors, like not caves, but other various I think Vivek interiors are being done currently. Yeah. So I just realised my RAM usage is crazy high. Oh, that's right, I've got Skyrim open. Okay. Hold on, I'm just gonna quickly close this. Now, you're probably gonna lose the stream because this is. Oh no. Oh gosh. Ah. Yeah, I was just playing a bit of Skywind, as you can see here. So I'll just quit out of this. Jeez, my mouse is really stuttery in this. It's going all over the place. Alright, there we go. My RAM usage, I've got 32 gigs of RAM, and currently the streaming program is using an enormous amount, and Skyrim was also using 2.5 gigs. Alright, there we go, down to 66%. Cool, this scene uses up an enormous amount of memory, it seems. Especially with Vertex Viewport 2.0. And also actually if we kick in other things like lighting, and I don't have the lighting, but yeah. Hello and Talvani. Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess I could do those after this. Anyway, let's go back to the ruins. Actually, no, before I do that, I will export this pillar. And just the individual one, and just the pillar. And also these little interesting shapes. whatever the spike may be. Cool. Export selection. Alright. Oh wait, wrong scene. Alright, let's import this stuff. Now this is going to mess up my hypershader. Check this out. So before my hypershader was really clean, now it's got this like the naming conventions on these from the exports all over the place, to say the least. So I'm just going to have to delete everything with the funky name. Actually no, when the previews start appearing I'll just reassign everything. So let's select objects with that material and apply the one I've already got for it. Is everything? Yeah, right, cool. Select objects, assign. Oh no, that didn't work properly. Right, for some reason I can only select one particular object at the same time. Huh. Alright, I'm just going to delete these. Just because it kind of messes up a beautiful naming. What else? That one. Oh well. Oh no, it did work. So, alright. Now I'll just delete all unused textures after these load back up. So we'll select objects. Where's the metal? Assign material. Also, this metal has a lot of specular. I'll knock up some ambient color into it. Okay, those textures aren't liking how I am applying them. Oh well, we'll do that some other time. I'll just stick with the messy hypershader for now. So, from what I can tell, yeah, these are just extrude along the insides like that. Okay, so this is just an incredibly simple piece then. So right now this needs to be a rusty color. And if we invert our selection, this needs to be this one, I believe. Let's see what the UV editor looks like. Alright, cool. So we just cut, oh no, wrong button. Okay, let's cut this again. Alright. Just wondering if this, I see that makes the ends flare out. That's easily fixed. It also gives it a funky seam. which is right on the top there as well. Ha! It's a ball. Wait a minute. Balls can be rolled. And this part didn't get into the... So wait, what texture was that again? That was the Daedric metal. That one. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to actually have to rename this bizarre texture into Daedric Stone 02 by the looks of things, according to the bump map which is applied to it. Yep, cool. So let's change this as well to the stone. I'm just going to expand this in the UV editor. Get it roughly the same density as the sphere. And a bit bigger. There we go. Alright, we're going to have to reduplicate it as well. Cool. Combine that mesh. Merge the components. And we're all good. As you can see on the bottom here, whoa, don't want to extrude the entire thing, that would be a disaster. I actually did that for one of my assignments back when I was studying at uni. For some reason, I must have hit extrude without realizing it, because I went to hand in my project and my tutor was like, why is everything, like when you pull a face out, why has it got two faces? You delete a face and there's a face underneath it, and I'm like, oh no, I know exactly what I did. And it was the worst thing ever, because I deleted my history after that point, and for some reason Maya's cleanup tools weren't picking it up, so it well and truly messed that assignment up for me. So now I make a point of never ever making that mistake. Okay, so they seem to arc more. So just select a lot of it. Yeah, let's just kind of mesh stuff around a bit. Probably scale it down a bit. I'll also turn off rotation snap. Okay, rotating 180 degrees. Moving, and we'll make this one the really big one. So we'll scale it up, make it a bit wider. We'll really kick in the soft select. So that's basically it. However, the inside blade on these, it's not actually a blade. Grumpy Cat, what do you think about the blade part? Would you think it might be an idea to keep it smooth like this, or really go for a kind of more sharper look, because I can, let's just select the blade. What I could do is I could extrude that, scale that back out a bit. Yeah, it looks like I'm selecting this top bit as well. And then I can clean it up a bit. And we'll just bevel it. Well, we can't bevel it much, so what point is stopping us from doing the bevel? I'm just wondering if I should keep the smoothness of this point or make a sharp blade. Because the smoothness, now that I've only just noticed it because I was using this one here for reference earlier, but the smoothness on this one is quite a bit nicer actually. It's almost like a cylinder. So I might remake the blade on this part. So I'll delete that and just, don't worry, answered my own question. Although your input is appreciated. Okay, I think 12 polygons around for this is probably acceptable. I can knock it down later. Right. So it arcs up. Okay, it's actually a very simple shape, so I would first of all start by extruding this out. Go into a side view. Adding another extrusion. Bringing it up. And just slowly scale it in. Yeah, that bit was a bit too scaled in. Now let's that. Select all those faces, invert the selection. Oh wait, I didn't do that symmetrically. Haha! Okay, let's redo that. Yeah, this is much nicer. This one here could be shifted slightly. So let's just apply this texture first. So the one going onto this part will be that Daedric metal. Oh, well, not the Daedric metal, sorry. This will be the Dwemer metal. I always say it Dwemer. I add an N in there somehow. I've just always done it. It really infuriates my buddy who's a huge nerd of Elder Scrolls stuff. And it's now starting to annoy me as well. Alright, let's just bring this over here. Now, as I said earlier in the stream, this is all done with textures which need to be redone. So what you're seeing here won't be the final look, but it will partially look like this. Okay, now this here, this is going to be this texture here. If I can find it, Daedric Stone 2. So now I'm going to UV this from the side. Not that side, sorry. Actually, no, that side would work, because then I can stretch the bottom up. So, just select the lot, unfold it. I'm going to have to unfold this middle bit as well, because for some reason that's really small. Cool, there we go, that worked. Excellent. If we snap that to the center of this cylinder, move it outwards, delete these faces here, then we'll just duplicate it once more, or once, and attach it to the other side as well, and have a complete item. I'll call it an item because I don't know what it is exactly. So let's just rotate this 180 degrees and freeze the transformations. The shiny metal look probably wouldn't be the greatest thing for like the Daedra. So I find that it should be, yeah, they feel like more of a diffuse texture, I guess. Yeah, it's this kind of texture here, I assume. Because yeah, it does feel like that the exteriors, because I mean all the other existing exteriors have these metal platings which have been fallen and torn off over the years, and they're all sort of have sort of lost their sheen over the years, but I mean some of them like this are just stupidly shiny, and they shouldn't be like that. But no, yeah, I do think the exteriors should be largely stone since the metal parts have worn off over the years. I mean, 4,000 years is a hell of a long time. So now just scale this in like this and bring it down a bit. So there you go. I'm going to call that done for now. I'll just add a bit of wear and tear to it. No, I won't. I'll duplicate it then, create a weird, worn down version. Also scale it. Could possibly do with a few less edge loops as well, because it is 1,200 triangles. But let's just see the original one, because the original one was also quite high in the polygon count. Yeah, the original was 808 tries, which is stupidly detailed for what it is, really. Unless that is someone's remade one, because that does seem quite high for a Morrowind asset. So when you look at this one down here, this feels like more of a Morrowind piece, because yeah, that's 350. Actually, I just realized these are almost two. Yeah, they stick out too much, because all the other ones have very much a kind of a, how do you put it? These ones here, they don't lurch out very far, they just go straight up. So yeah, I'll use that same look for this one. Cool. Alright. So let's stick it on top of that existing pillar and actually see if it fits. And then I'll make one that's not quite spherical. These bits here around the outside could do with a bit of it to be a bit wider. So let's just delete these two edge loops. Oh, did he? Right, that makes sense then, because that really is far too high for set. Whereas these ones here, this is incredibly rough. I like the creative use of the textures on this piece as well. It's quite nice. Oh, hey man. I haven't seen you in a while. Right. Yeah, as you can see, Shade Killer, I have been modeling stuff. So you too can watch me model stuff. Right. So I'll just so are these? Yeah, these are the same as well. Okay, so we can actually delete one of these pictures. Pictures. What am I on? We can delete the. I've had a complete mind blank. What are they? They're pillars. Not pictures. Pillars. Okay, other way we can delete that one now because we have our own. So let's make another pillar. We could probably repurpose one of these. No, I won't repurpose that. That is silly. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've subscribed to the 2015 Lite Edition. It's pretty fantastic. So now let's give this pillar a bit of character, because currently it has to hold up this ball, so I might make it. I might. What could I do for this? So what I'm doing right now is I'm just extruding these parts into separate bricks. Now I will also merge these here. Oh gosh. Just save a few triangles. What's missing in the Lite Edition? Not a huge amount. Well, actually an enormous amount, but not a huge amount that matters towards modeling. It's mainly just the... let's do a side-by-side comparison. Actually, let's just save this first. So this is 2015. And as you can see, there's just stacks and stacks and stacks of different tabs for things like end cloth and hair, and I mean all the normal deformation, NURBS, and polygon stuff is there. There's the amount of materials, and the material editor is now just limited. Like, you can't really create big setups for materials. You have to do it all via texture, which I get. My LT is designed for game developers, so it's not, it doesn't have all that fancy stuff. There's a few differences, like LT has texture baking, which is actually fantastic and really handy. Other than that, let's just see what other. Oh yes, all of the rendering stuff. So in LT, you can't just go, oh, I want to render this. There's just no option. What else is missing? Yeah, it's basically that. All the stuff that matters for animation is not in this. Like, I mean, there's all the normal animation tools, but none of the rendering options. Yeah. Most games have the materials store most of the information, or shaders, which this supports as well. So that, like, you can write CGFX materials and DirectX 11 materials, and like you can script them, so you can get interesting effects. But that stuff doesn't apply to me. I don't really like shader writing. I dabbled in it a few years back, but never again, ever. No, I haven't needed to render out, because I mean I've got viewport 2.0, so as you can see here, I'm, if I want to take a nice screenshot of something, just create a big ass white polygon, stick it on an angle, go into attribute editor, turn off receive shadows, and you got yourself a nice background for a render. So then you can just do all the editing in Photoshop. If you want depth of field, you can activate it. Although it is quite stubborn. There's also motion blur. Although doesn't seem to want to trigger, so oh well, I'll turn that off. Anyway, let's continue with this pillar. So I think for the top, I'll add a block to it that has something like a bunch of claws, maybe holding onto the orb, or it could just be a standalone pillar by itself. Yeah, that seems like the best option, just have a generic pillar. Because that means the guys doing the environments can flesh it out a bit better and make stuff look nicer. More alive as well, or dead in this case, because this is ruins. Yeah, the view cube is a strange thing. Because, yeah, it doesn't work in 2.0. So I'm not too sure what Autodesk are thinking there. But I think that's one of the problems that they are working on for the next update to this. Anyway, let's just chuck in a few edge loops. So at the bottom here I might add something like what I did for the other pillar, with having a ridge of brick sticking out. So it's quite a cool effect, and it's quite simple to do. You can make them all I'll make them like that. Now I'll just quickly bevel these edges here, which I can't do because I've got this side selected. So I'll only bevel one side of it. I'll come in here, I'll delete this edge, because this one, here we go, this is where our problem is. Is it the same down here? No, it doesn't appear to be. Cool. Right, so then just select this edge again. Yeah, bevel works now. Cool. Yeah, multi-cut tool is fantastic. I was talking to some of the guys in this stream earlier about it, and it is just one of the most fantastic additions to Maya. Okay, let's bevel this part. We'll just cut these faces a bit. And actually, when we cut them, chuck in an edge loop around here. We'll just scale this in slightly. First of all, we'll delete the base. Get rid of that. I'm not dropping frames by the looks of things. Hold on, just open broadcaster. It says it's 0.01% of frames dropped. So in the last 3 hours of streaming, I've dropped 200 frames. So it doesn't appear like I'm dropping many. So let's just merge all these to center, like I've done with all the other parts. Yeah, I've found that Maya's decided it won't remember where half of my edges are, which is a little bit annoying, but I can forgive. Oh gosh, don't want to merge the entire mesh to center. That'd be a very bad thing. I am streaming in 1080p. I could probably knock down the stream to 720, but then you're losing a lot of the interface being readable. Yeah, I could. No, I'll stick to what it is. I'm just wondering, is it possible for me to stream different detail levels? Broadcast set. Hold on, I'm just going to browse my Twitch settings and see if I can do double compression, because my CPU usage is currently 12%. Cool. Alright, I won't bother doing a double encoding. This is Viewport 2.0. It's fantastic because it does real-time lighting, does ambient occlusion, does anti-aliasing, and it also does shadows really nicely as well. So if you look at this stuff looks wicked. Yeah, see? So this is the piece I've made in this stream so far. It's a ruined building with a pillar holding up a single block, holding up a single little pillar. Cool. Right, let's continue with this pillar. Now up the top here, I think I might add in a little tiny brick. Right about there. Before I do that, I'll just chuck in 2 edge loops. Then I'll bevel top. And I'll bevel the bottom. Yeah, Viewport 2.0's performance now is insanely good. It used to lag a lot on lower end machines or machines that didn't have workstation graphics cards. But nowadays, like I have to admit, I'm running a R929EX, so I'm not exactly a typical user, but it generally feels a lot slicker. Okay, let's bevel these edges again. Also, for some reason, all these models that were exported from Morrowind were exported with baked animation, every single piece. I'm not too sure why, but there must be a reason behind it. Cool. Okay, that's looking somewhat like a pillar. Just chucking a little bit of bevel on this piece here. Doesn't need to be too detailed. Doesn't 3DS's viewport do in viewport rendering? like IPR rendering or whatever. Because I do remember 3DS having some sort of automatic rendering, but I'm really unsure as to what the rendering looked like and if it was any good. Yeah, let's just try and get out this mesh because I can't be bothered putting edges in. Actually, no. I can save myself a lot of hassle. Merge these to center. Excellent. Alright. Now down here we've also got a whole bunch of edges which we can merge to the center. No, we're not like that. Okay. I'll take a look at them in a minute. I'll just finish up this edge loop. Cool. So that's a clean pillar. I'll mess it up a bit, create a few variants, texture it first. Actually, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in around 15 minutes. Just realised it's 5 o'clock and I haven't had any afternoon tea or lunch for that matter. So, well, I did a breakfast at lunchtime, so it's partly my fault. So I'll be back in a bit. I'm just going to end the stream for now, but yeah, I'll bring it back up once I'm back. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in a bit.